We're in Oneonta, New York. We were here last year. Danielle came to the Story Tour event last year.
I was in a fairly dark place. I was young. I mean, I was in a relationship with somebody. When I found out that I was pregnant, it was kind of like, I didn't know at that point in my life if I would have been able to provide for somebody, because I didn't know how to provide for myself. And because I had so many past traumas and things that I had been through, it was just very overwhelming to think about being a mother. Ultimately, I decided not to keep the baby, and it was something that I couldn't forgive myself for. The next couple Mother's Days were really difficult for me and people didn't even know, but it was that was just a reason for me to drink and for me to get obliterated and messed up, and so I didn't have to think about it and I didn't have to feel.
You just gotta know the stories now.
I OD'd Christmas Eve, not this last year, but the year before. I could have lost my life completely, but the point that I was in, I just didn't care.
That was in December of 22.
Yep.
And so then your friend Tara invited you out to Story Tour, which is in March of 23.
So coming into the Story Tour last year, I didn't really know what to expect. When I walked in, as soon as we sat down in the chairs, it was like, you guys came on, and that was the first story. That woman's story about the abortion was the first thing that I heard.
The very first story of the night is from a lady named Lisa who had an abortion. And she talks about how God set her free from all the shame.
Listening to this woman's story, as soon as she said the word abortion, and then as soon as she said feeling shameful and guilty and unworthy, I was like, oh, wow, that, I literally dropped to my knees. I fell and I sat down and I couldn't even stand because my legs were shaking and I was so overwhelmed. I remember, I think it was Travis speaking, asked everybody, if you're ready to surrender and you want to be saved, to stand. I stood up immediately and just cried, just having people that I really cared about and that cared about me, pray over me, and just knowing that I was gonna be okay and that my story wasn't over.
She came out of the Story Tour event. She gave her heart to the Lord, and also God did a lot with the shame that she was dealing with from her past abortion. But so now she's been sober for 8 months, and so it's just amazing that she's here today.